talk about how to set up a classroom in GoGuardian. You see, I already have some classrooms set up, but if you don't, that's okay. What you want to do is come over here to Add Classroom, and it asks for a classroom name and a description. Let's skip that for now. Come down here, and if you're working on a smaller screen, you might have to scroll, but you're just going to click this dark blue button, Add from Google. It's going to connect to your Google Classroom account. If you don't have a Google Classroom set up, you'll want to do that first. But I'm going to choose this one as an example. It will populate with all of my students. But the first thing I want to do, I could skip this, but if I skip it, it means that every single day that I want to record student activity, I'd have to press Start Session. That's a hassle. I don't want to have to do that. So I'm going to set this up. And my first class comes in from 8 a.m. to 9:15 every day. For our high school teachers who work on block days, you would have to do a little bit more creative work. I'll show you how to come in later and add a separate type of schedule. But this is what I'm going to do. This is my first class. I click Add Schedule, and it imports, excuse me, all of my students into my class immediately. Now, don't worry if you see your name on here. I can't actually see what teachers are doing, but you were part of my class from that minute. Okay, from here, I can go into Settings, Info. I can add a description there. I can add different teachers to the class who would also be able to monitor these students. Scheduling. Now, this is where I record 8 to 9:15 every day, but maybe if it's an elementary class, that group comes back to me later. I can add another session, and maybe this group comes back to me from 11:15 to 1:50, say. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Click Add Schedule. Okay, so now the students are coming to me 8 to 9:15 and 11:15 to 1:50. Now, I don't want to just say 8 to 3 every day, because if they're in a different class with a different teacher, it would kind of make my life a little bit more complicated. So if you have them all day, great, make it all day. But if they do move around, you want to spend a little bit of extra time here at the beginning to make your life easier later. Click over here into reporting, and I can get myself an email at the end of every day about what students we're looking at any one time. This is really great. I can see the students who are using the most internet, the sites that were the most visited, and the activities that they were engaged in the most. So I'm going to come over here, hold on for 1 second, and I want to show you what one of these looks like. So I can get my GoGuardian Teacher Daily Summary, and it looks like this. It gives my GoGuardian Teacher Daily Summary, how many locked screens, how many tabs were open in total, and I can see very, very basically what the students were doing. And here are my top users for this day. Again, I can't see what you're doing, but you can see what your students are doing. And then I also have my session summary, and I can view timelines. And I can open it up. And if I could see what teachers were doing, I would be able to see timelines of each student, and I can go in and see what their screens were showing at any one time. I can swap between timelines, screens, and snapshots. So this is how to get a class set up and a basic overview about how to use this. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to contact the LCUSD Tech Department. Thanks very much, and talk to you soon.